How they hanging down, dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to the Media Raptor Reviews. It's actually been a while since I've done one of these, and I can explain why. My computer decided to be incredibly stupid, so that whole no compromise video I was working on, the one that part 1 came out of, it's not gonna happen. Overall, my thoughts on No Compromise are everything about it is good except the story, and the story pretty much ruins it by completely ignoring its premise and promise and giving us a whole bunch of really uncomfortable things you have to go through. With that out of the way, ever seen a trailer for a movie that you think looks so bad that there was no possible way that this movie could be good, and then it turns out it's actually really good, really enjoyable, and just a movie you cannot express just how much you enjoyed? We've all had one. For a lot of people, it was Hotel Transylvania, but for me, it was Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the first one. My main reason for it being, you had Robin Williams and did nothing fun with it. You essentially took this really cool concept and forced it to be dark, forced it to be dramatic, to be sad. And I'm not saying that Robin Williams only has to be funny. In fact, he is a very good dramatic actor. I've seen him do it before, but with a concept like a board game that drags you into it, playing it dramatically isn't the right thing to do. And honestly, I never enjoyed the original Jumanji. So when I saw the trailers for this one, I honestly thought, sure, why not, I guess. But eventually, my friends were like, hey, let's go see it. And I've seen it twice. I saw it in theaters, then Watch Dogs month happened, so I didn't get a chance to review it. But yeah, so I watched it, and shockingly, it's better than it really has any right to be. In a lot of ways, it is exactly what you would hope for, and it's not a perfect movie. It's close to one, but it's just a ton of fun. And I think the main reason why it's so much fun is the writing. They completely nailed it this time for what I thought Jumanji would be all about. See, this time, a little bit of a spoiler here, but the movie's out on Blu-ray at this point, so that's your problem if you haven't seen it. The board game turns into a video game cartridge, and a bunch of teenagers get sucked into it. And essentially the whole thing completely satirizes the idea of video games, from stuff like NPCs to quick-time events to combat to character deaths, which really don't seem to affect anyone around them. It is humorous, it is funny, and it works. Now, yes, the story itself does still follow a number of cliches with, these four pretty stereotypical college characters having to overcome their differences and find that, we're not really all that different when you really get down to it. Yes, it's cliched. Yes, it's been done dozens of times. Screen Junkies nailed it when they said it's kind of a lot like The Breakfast Club. But at the same time, this movie is actually really funny, which is something that surprised me. The humor in this movie is spot on. I think this also mainly works because of the acting, but the characters are great. It's fun to see, the nerd end up in The Rock's body, the jock end up in Kevin Hart's body, the blonde Instagram girl end up in Jack Black's body, and the shy girl end up in Karen Gillian's body. They have a lot of humor, they have a lot of character, they have a lot of emotion, and it works. I don't know who wrote this movie. In fact, let's look that up now. I really feel like whoever wrote this movie they knew what they were doing, and that's what made it work, is the writers had a good idea, they had good ways to make it work. Yes, not all of it works, but at the same time, it was good. It was a very good movie. I just want to see who wrote it real quick. I'm curious about this. Chris McKenna, I swear I know that name. Okay, that's why I know this guy. Sounds familiar. He's also written the Lego Batman movie and Spider-Man Homecoming. So he knows how to write good action comedies. He knows how to write a good movie. In Jumanji, solid movie. Part of that also has to do with the acting. Look, when you have The Rock, Karen Gillian, Jack Black, and Kevin Hart, it's gonna be good. But this movie, and everyone has said this about this movie, and I'm going to say it because it kind of has to be said, it works, and the humor works because they're playing the opposite of who they are. Like I said, the nerd ends up being The Rock. And it's fun to see The Rock try and act as this nerdy, this really frightened easily character, you know, who dies at one point because he gets scared of a squirrel. It's like, it works. All the actors, aside from Kevin Hart, essentially have to work against how they normally play, and Kevin Hart just tones up how he normally plays his characters, and it all works great. The characters and the actors, they blend well together, and that adds so much more enjoyment to the movie itself. They honestly took a concept which really didn't have to exist. There was no reason for them to remake Jumanji. There was no reason for them to do this. But they went, you know what, let's do it anyways. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, a remake isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as you do something good with it. And they did something really good with it. Special effects are great. The sets, the costumes, the action scenes are all great. There's not really a lot to say on that. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about what the comedy and what made it so funny aside from the character interactions and all that, but there also is a lot of other stuff in this, which I don't want to give it away, but it's really funny. Yeah, everything about this movie is really solid. At the end of the day, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is not the most memorable movie. It isn't of, 2017. It is not the most engaging movie of 2018, but darn it, it is one of the most fun movies of 2017. Why did I say 2018 last time? It is one of the most fun movies. When you have friends together, if you got a couple drinks, some popcorn, you're gonna have a great time. This movie is completely harmless, and you know what? I do want to see a sequel. I want to see more to this. I think there's a lot they can do with it, despite the ending, which I'm not gonna spoil. The movie is entertaining. It got it right. The movie got everything right. It got tribute right. It got comedy right. It got action right. You know, it still does follow quite a bit of cliches, but at the same time, it satirizes them. So ultimately, I'm giving Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle 3 Raptor Claws out of 4. If you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend it. It's not the best movie ever made, but it certainly is entertaining. All the actors fire on all cylinders, and it's always great to see The Rock make another great movie. Because I don't think I've seen him make a bad movie yet, and that's impressive. Anyhow, you guys, we're back on track. I've given up on Watch Dogs Month. The Watch Dogs 3 video I am working on, but yeah, I wanted to get more reviews done. So make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I don't really care if you don't. I just feel like saying that because it's what all YouTubers do. If you want to get a free shout out, just comment down below what you want me to review. If I end up reviewing it, boom, I'll plug your channel. And until next time, you guys, keep cool. I'll see all you Dino Dudes around. Later.